Welcome to another episode of Finding Serenity in the Midst of Chaos podcast. Today, we are talking about 5 different ways to be grateful in your life right now. Stay tuned. Hello, Ian.
Hi, July. How you doing?
I'm marvelous, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks.
Well, I'm grateful that we are here still talking.
I know. Yes. Yeah, indeed. What a long marathon it's been.
I know.
And they said it would
Sound
never
like you.
last.
Sounds like you're a bit fed up or something. No, I'm
Oh,
joking.
right.
No.
No.
It's
She think, oh, up
it's
for
been
another
a
chat today.
yeah. So we are talking about 5 different ways of being grateful. And where did this even come from? Well, because I've been asked the question of why am I struggling to be grateful in my life and all this. And I
Okay.
can see a lot of people not really practicing an awful lot of gratitude. And when you're not looking, when life is lifing, as it were,
Right. Okay. Yeah.
it is easy to just get down into a very low feeling kind of thing. So I wanted to bring this subject up again because it is a game changer for all of us. So it's good to keep reminding ourselves how many different ways we can be grateful, how many different ways of gratitude that exists
Well, that's
in our
good. Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
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 So the first one, and this isn't going to sound like being grateful because it isn't. The first
Right.
way is most 98% of the population's way of being is to complain.
Okay.
Because
All
we like to
right.
complain about things. We like to complain about the weather. We like to complain about the why the bus is late or the train is late. We like to complain about the air conditioning in the office, right?
That's right. That's the classic one. Yeah.
That is the classic one. But never do we ever think about why, how grateful we should be to be sitting in a great office with all the tech that is given to us, with
Yeah.
beautiful screens, wonderful keyboards and mouse and whatever, everything that we could ever ask for right there and then.
Yeah.
Hardly any of my colleagues in the olden times ever thought about that. And even when I caught myself seeing is starting to complain about things, and I just like, really stop now, kind of thing. So complaining is just, most people are where they are right now, and it is not a way to be grateful, but it is where we all start. So starting with the awareness.
That's good. And, you're right, aren't you? 98%, I have 98% of great things, but I'm going to moan and complain about the 2% I haven't got, the lack.
Yeah,
Maybe that's
absolutely.
coming up later. I don't know, but
But
I'll
no,
just
that's
throw
it.
that one
It's
in.
exactly what it is. Our focus is in the lack. And yes, it's a great point to come back to, and we will come back to it.
Okay.
And number 2 is most people, if you are especially the kind of person who is in the interpersonal development, is most people would be practicing, like having a gratitude journal, being grateful for the 5 things you have in your life, either at the beginning of the day or at the end of the day. So that is a practice that most people will apply if you are into personal development, and that is a great place to be, because you can really just, as we said about in last week's episode, focusing your mind on the things that you already have in your life. And that's a great place to be. So well done if you're already doing that. Yes?
Yep.
So number 3 even is being grateful for things that is not yet in your life.
Oh, that's an interesting one. It
What?
might never happen.
Yeah. No, not from that premise, Ian. We are
Okay. Sorry
going
to get
from
it
the
wrong.
premise
Okay.
that it is already happening.
Okay. I like this one. Yeah.
Yeah. We are putting into place all the things that, we want in life.
Right.
We want
Yes.
to create
Yes.
a great life. We want a house by the sea. We want a great business. I want the next promotion or whatever it might be. And knowing that you are taking those steps to get there, and then tuning into the feeling of gratitude as if they already happened.
That's really good.
Does that
Because
make
if,
sense?
well, it does. And I think, what I'm thinking now is, if that's what you're telling your brain, then it'll believe and respond to that. So,
Exactly.
mm,
That's exactly what it is. And,
yeah, I do pay attention, don't I?
you
You
do pay
see?
attention. Well done. But, this is, people will call this visualization. People, most athletes will actually, is a practice that they do. And
Yes. Yeah.
most personal development people will
Mm,
advise you to do this, and it is true. It is a practice that I do daily myself, and I've managed to create the things in my life through
mm,
this process myself. The gratitude for the things that hasn't yet come
mm.
but are already coming, from the
Yes.
premise that that they are coming.
That's brilliant. Yeah,
because
that's
because
good.
if it's a thought in your mind, it's already going to happen. Everything that you have in your life right now was once a thought in the
Yes.
past. So remember
Yeah,
this all the time. So that was number
that's good.
3. It's true.
I-
Number 4 is to be grateful for the things that are going wrong in your life.
Oh, of course. Yes.
Or the bad things that
I
may
could
be
have guessed that
happening.
one.
Well,
Now this is fascinating stuff because straight away you say no, no. I want rid of all the bad things. I don't be grateful for. And what's this all about?
here's what happened on the weekend.
Okay. Oh, it's little.
Uh, for those of you who may not be living in the UK, we had a bank holiday Monday. So Monday was basically a long weekend. And we decided that we're going to go to the seaside. We booked a hotel on a Sunday night just to get away for a couple of days. But then we decided, no, we're not going to do that. Perhaps, the weather wasn't going to look great where we weren't wanted to go. For some reason, we just did not want to go. So we
Okay.
cancelled it.
Yeah.
One Saturday, we are driving in town, and all of a sudden, when we parked the car, my husband noticed the front wheels of the car was the thread that should be
Yes.
1.6 millimeters was
Yes. The tread
almost
depth. Yes.
non-existent,
Oh,
in both tires.
sounds like one of my tires at the moment on my car. Also, I hope there's no policeman listening, by the way. Yeah. Sorry. Carry on, Chula.
But this car had just passed an MOT, which is a yearly test.
Ooh.
That was 2 months ago. two
Oh,
months
wow.
ago. And it was
Yes.
only 2,500 miles we've done since. So we're just like, how is this possible? This wasn't even advised. Nobody even warned us about it. Normally, if your tires are on its way out, they would advise you to change it, or they would change it there and then.
Yeah.
So this wasn't even a thing. And we looked back at our
Yeah.
records. It turned out that we had changed the tires only in October last year, so barely 6 months ago. So it's like, oh, so why am I talking about this? We were grateful to, at that moment that this thing had happened. The weather was bad. We didn't go to the seaside, which would have been like 120 miles away from where we live. And we ended up not going. But because of this tire situation, I'm grateful that we didn't go.
Yeah, right.
And
Right. Good. Great
because
example. Yeah. Yeah. I'm seeing where this is going now. Yeah.
because God forbid, if you're driving on the motorway 60 miles an hour, if it's
Yeah.
one of the tires go, God knows what's going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
you know
So,
you
yeah,
have zero
that's,
control over the situation. So
mm,
to cut a long story short, we managed to get our tires sorted out yesterday very quickly, and we went back to the garage. Here's a side story. Went back to the garage who did the MOT. They
oh,
realized this has just happened after like 2 months. This is not possible. There was no even advisory. What do you say about this? Oh, we don't check the tracking. Well, yeah, we noticed. It's because of the tracking of the car is
yeah.
misaligned, then the
Yes.
tires will wear on one side, or
They
both
will
sides in
wear
this case.
unevenly. That's correct.
Um,
Yes. Yeah.
but his answer to the situation was, even though they fixed something in the suspension, which also
Yeah.
would cause the tires to go in a
Right.
bad way, and every time something has been changed in the suspension, they need to make sure that the tracking is corrected. So
Yeah.
he turns around and says, oh, we don't check tracking. Oh yeah, I noticed, but
Mm,
shouldn't you at least advise the people to go to a garage where tracking is checked? And then he says the next sentence, oh, we just put it the way exactly the way it was. It's like, if you have no way of measuring, you will not know how it was. And you're going to put, so anyway, so he was kind of backtracking a bit, but he did eventually kind of accepted some responsibility, because this is also a garage that we've been going for 20 years. So it's not like they
Right.
were
Yeah.
being whatever, but people make mistakes, but
Yes.
we
Yeah.
felt responsible to tell them
Right. Yeah.
this was an important thing to consider. So to cut a long story short, again, we wanted to make sure that we were, well, this doesn't happen to somebody else, and they were
Yes.
aware of it.
Yeah.
But we were also grateful that we managed to get it sorted. We've even seen it. You wouldn't normally check your tires after
Mm.
passing the MOT for 2 months,
No. No.
you know.
No. No.
We did check it, and we weren't anywhere, in a long journey and stranded in the roads or anything. So that was something that we were grateful for. Even though at the time it seemed like a bad thing, we managed to turn the story around. Perhaps this was
Mm.
a lesson for us to learn, or something, or for the
That's
garage to
brilliant.
learn. Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, definitely some lessons for them to learn, I would say. Yeah,
Yeah.
and to
Yeah.
at least say how it is, really. Yeah, but
Mm,
yeah, one of those things. I mean, a whole different topic, but yeah,
yeah.
it's taken me a long time to find a number of people that I can trust to do things
Mm,
for me, and it's one of the things I'd say. I mean, I'm quite laid back as a character, quite casual about stuff, really, in general,
mm,
but I do say I draw the line at I
mm,
don't like working for people that I can't trust.
yeah.
And equally so, I don't want to do anything with anybody if they don't trust me either. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it's
Absolutely.
trust is a big thing. Different topic altogether, but I do understand how that whole scenario and story and example that was a real
Mm,
experience for you can reveal how we can be grateful for something that's gone wrong.
yeah.
It kind of gone wrong. It went wrong for a reason that
Mm-hmm.
actually you benefited from at the end of the day, but couldn't have seen that before it all happened, really.
No, yeah,
But
I mean, we were grateful for the lucky escape that we had,
yes,
grateful for still to be here, alive and
yeah,
well, and
yeah,
grateful that we noticed it just there and then, so we could do something about it.
hmm
You know, and that's it. And being able to not putting anybody else's life as well as our own life
yes,
in danger. So that was great.
sure,
So number
brilliant.
5
Okay,
is
yeah,
realizing in life there is no bad or good. All the labels that we put is a perception of where we are in life, and anything that is bad or good doesn't exist. It's just everything is just
right.
is. Life
Is
is
this in
just
the
happening.
Can I just clarify that one though, too? Like
Mm-hmm.
that is in the context of our own experience and what we're saying. I like this. This is good in my life, and I like that it's bad.
Mm.
I mean, I'm sure we all agree that robbing banks is bad. We're not talking about moral
Yeah,
things here, right?
exactly. No,
Yeah.
it is in the, for example, let's say you're on a journey of personal development, or your journey, in that specific journey, you want to get to the next level of promotion or whatever, and you're
Yeah.
doing everything that you can, but things seems to be going wrong for you. Things seems
Mm.
to be going bad. Someone else gets it, and
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
position gets taken away, or something else happens in your family. So these could be perceived as bad things happening, or it
Mm.
could also be the opposite. There will be lots of good things or whatever, but none of that is really, we don't, they are just things that are happening. But
Mm.
perhaps especially for the bad ones, there's no bad thing. Everything is happening for a reason, and things
Mm.
are always working out. Whether or not we like it at that moment, it's
So
still for our good, if you like, in our
yeah.
favor. Yeah.
So it's almost, what can I learn from this
Mm,
experience that I want to call a bad thing or a bad
yeah.
experience? Yeah. What can I learn? And
Mm,
in that way, you're helping to turn it around into something good, because you're going to learn something good. You're not going to
yeah.
learn something that's going to make you worse.
Someone, one of my mentors, students, recently asked a great question in this very specific situation. It's like, why am I so glad that this is happening for me right now when something kind of bad
Yeah.
happens?
Yeah.
Why am I so glad that this is actually happening for me right now? because
Mm.
then you focused your attention on the why are you so glad that it's happening. It could be showing you something that you weren't otherwise aware of. It could
Mm.
be, you know, directing you in a way that you never would have thought of otherwise. Do you see what I mean?
Mm.
So why am I, when you ask that question to your brain, you literally shift your focus on from the point that creates those bad feelings, as we talked
Mm-hmm.
about last
Yep.
week,
Yes. Yeah.
to, but why is this happening? Why should I be so glad that this
Mm.
is happening?
Mm.
And then you can list all of those things, why you should be glad that this is happening. It
That's a
could
good
be
one.
that it's
I
for you
mean,
to slow down, you know?
yes. Yeah. I see how that can work in
Hmm.
many different ways. I would say, I have to be honest, that's probably not something that I've really tried to do. So that's a new one to try, certainly.
It is.
Yeah.
Well, you know, you wouldn't, would you? Why would you even think
I
to
suppose
be
so. Yeah.
glad about something
Yes.
that may be
Yeah.
going wrong in your life? But, you know,
But good to have that brought into your mind, and good to know that you should reframe that in the way of, what is it that I'm glad about, or why should I be glad that
yeah,
this is happening, or this has happened. Yeah.
not
And it
should.
really does.
Why am I so glad?
Okay.
If you say if
Oh,
you should be glad, then you're making yourself.
you're not committed. Yeah. Why
Yeah.
am I?
Why am
Yeah.
I so glad that this
Right.
is actually happening for me right now?
Yep. Very good point.
Yeah.
Very, very good point indeed.
So subscribe to our channel to make sure that you
Thanks.
get these amazing videos every week. And let's just summarize today's 5 different ways to be grateful. Number 1, as 98% of people do, just complain. Complain about everything in your life, no matter how great it might be. And you will get more of it coming back to you. Number 2, being grateful for what you already have in your life. That's small things, big things, anything. And that's, if you're already in your personal development journey, and the fact that you're listening means that you are, that's where you probably are right now, being grateful for everything that you have in your life, morning, evening, whenever you feel that you can. And number 3 is being grateful for things that isn't yet in your life, but you are on the way to
On the
creating.
way. Yep.
And number 4 is being grateful for bad things happening in your life, as per my example.
Mm.
And number 5 is realizing there is nothing bad or good or whatever. It's just things happening to you or for you right now, for you to learn the lessons in your journey of growth. And when you learn to enjoy the journey of growth, then with lots of gratitude, you'll have more of what you focus your mind to, right?
Yep. What we focus on grows in us. I
It
love it.
does
Yeah. One
indeed.
of my favorite things that I've learned in the 4 years. Yeah.
Yes, great.
It makes so much sense. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, we should do an episode on what have you learned in the past 4 years.
Oh, I've done it now, haven't I? Oh, you'd love that, wouldn't you? You'd be able to put me on the spot all the way through.
You
Yeah. Oh,
don't
yeah.
have to tell them all right now, Ian, but we might create a great opportunity for you to maybe, just like I did with my 50 things in 50 years, you might just, what have I learned? 4 things I've learned in the past 4 years. Here you go. Whistle it down to 4 things.
All right. 4 for 4. Yeah. All right. I can cope with that.
Yes.
Very
Well,
good.
very good. See you next time.